Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. My name is Simon Miller and today I am joined by Stephen W. Burns.
Hello.
Brett Phipps.
Hello.
And David Scammell.
Miller, I'm getting well bad deja vu.
I know, it's like we did this yesterday and then Audacity wiped everything. But who knows? I don't know for sure. It may have happened. It may not have happened.
That definitely happened.
How did it have the audacity?
Oh, nice, Burns.
Where'd you steal that from me?
Wait.
No, he didn't.
as
Are
we're-
you joking me right now?
No, he didn't.
This is
Did he steal
disgusting.
it?
I said this yesterday.
Before we get going and chatting about all the stuff that's been happening in games this week, remember you can follow VideoGamer on Twitter at VideoGamer.com, on Facebook, VideoGamer.com, YouTube, VideoGamerTV, and of course we have a Patreon as well. So if you want to support us with your money, it's just patreon.com/VideoGamer. And that's that. You may notice that some way through this podcast it segues into what seems like a completely different chat. That's because we did salvage some of yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to chat about all the EA stuff that was announced yesterday, and then we'll segue into the stuff.
And then we're
going
going
to
to go back in time.
Exactly.
And talk about other stuff that we've already
It's like
talked
Terminator
about.
Genesis.
It's going to
That
be a
happened
very
before the
interesting,
EA
unique
stuff.
podcast. But that's good, right? Everyone loves that. It's a bit different.
I don't understand. It's like Back to the Future shit.
Originality and variety are the spice of life. That's how I'm spinning
And a
it.
banana boss looks
You were
the same
giving me
as
a-
Dave's eating a banana.
You give me a funny look, Brett. Do you want to bite my banana?
No, I was just laughing at the way you was eating it because you've got to reach over your mic to. You know,
I kind of
make
got to
room.
go under it, really, or to the side. Just nibble on it.
There was no banana chat yesterday.
No.
So we're already ahead of the game in that sense.
Sort of seductively
Dave,
eating it as well.
Stop
Hello.
eating that banana and tell everyone about what's going on with
EA
electronic
announced,
arts.
they announced a load of shit yesterday, right?
Well,
I
they
don't mean shit as in negative stuff. I mean as in content. That use of the word
They
shit.
announced a lot of dates, yeah. Which
But there's some interesting stuff in there.
well, Mirror's Edge is the big one.
So it's literally going to be out in a year's time.
Spring
we will have
2016.
new Mirror's Edge.
Well, right. So I don't know how sort of pedantic this is, or so they announced that it was out in Q4, the financial Q4, which runs between January and March.
Yes.
They then later said it's a
Well, no.
spring 2016 title. Now, spring starts on March 20th, but it's supposed to be out by March 31st. So there's your release window. Last week of March, like they always are, like Battlefield was.
When
this
did
year.
the first Mirror's Edge come out? Not in year, in terms of
November,
window.
wasn't it?
Was it late in the year?
October, November,
Well,
same
they'll
time
never
as
do that
Dead
again.
Space.
Okay, was it really? That's interesting. I think that's their biggest announcement for me. I was such a huge Mirror's Edge fan. I think it's a tremendous piece of work. It's one of the only games I finished and then started playing again straight away.
I'm
I thought it was
surprised
great.
it's that soon because DICE has got a lot going on.
They got Battlefield.
They got Star Wars Battlefront in November.
Yeah.
They then got Mirror's Edge early next year, and they've already announced, or EA's already announced, another Battlefield for late next year. So they've got 3 big games. In
That's definitely a DICE Battlefield.
Assuming it's
definitely,
a DICE Battlefield. I don't see who else would do it.
No.
They can't have another Visceral one that close, I don't think.
No, it's true. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Maybe their team has expanded. I mean, who is dealing with Mirror's Edge? Do we know?
Yeah,
Is it the
wouldn't be
A team?
Battlefield team, would it? Doing a Mirror's Edge, surely.
No
Have they
idea.
made it before? I assume they did anyway.
Going to be a new Telltale team.
Yeah,
That's what they'll do.
exactly.
We don't know anything about it, do we?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, they're going to have to go big on it at E3, I would assume, because at the moment, if you've got a game in the current gaming landscape, if you've got a game coming out in less than a year, and they haven't actually talked about it other than you'll get it when it's ready, and all we've seen is like concept footage and you haven't actually seen gameplay or anything like
Saw
that.
some prototype stuff last year.
yeah, so I presume at their conference they have to show off.
Oh, it'll be big. It'll be that and Star Wars. That'll be their big things.
Do you want? That's a great lineup.
Strong.
Yeah, Star Wars and Mirror's Edge that pumps me up.
Yeah.
But what else have they got? What else have they?
They've got new
announced?
Plants vs Zombies as well, which is going to be at E3. You're
What?
giving me a look, Miller, like, oh,
Well,
Plants
what?
vs
No,
Zombies.
no. I like the original Plants vs Zombies, but obviously the last one we
Tower
got
Defense
was
one.
Yeah, the original normal
Yeah.
one. But then the last thing we got was a third-person shooter.
Garden Warfare.
Yeah. Which way are they going now?
Quite enjoy Garden Warfare.
How
I
many
thought
times
it
did
was
you
okay,
buy
just
it?
not what I wanted.
How many times did you buy Garden Warfare? Be honest now.
Only once, you prick.
You're a liar.
Actually.
You're a liar. You're a fucking liar.
I'm not a liar.
How many times
I
did we-
didn't buy it at
How-
all. 'cause
how many
I got given
times-
it for a birthday present.
How many times did we sit in that room and talk about you having to
Well, I
rebuy
bought-
it in CEX?
I bought it once, and then I got EA access, and it was there twice, so I didn't buy it, but it was part of my subscription.
So you did buy it.
And then I got it free
We're
on
about to see a-
PlayStation Plus when they did
So
it.
you had
Banana
3
peel is about
copies.
to
You
fly
had 3
across the room.
copies of Garden Warfare.
Look, this doesn't matter. The point is, there's a new Plants vs
And
Zombies.
which kind is it? Is it
Unbelievable.
going
They
back
haven't
to...
said.
Oh,
They've-
right, so we don't know. Okay.
All they've said is they mentioned it in the context of Garden Warfare. They said, I can't remember exactly how they said it,
Yeah.
but they said how good Garden Warfare was. And they said this is going to be a bigger and bolder experience.
So maybe they change it again then? Maybe it's
Garden-
completely different
Now
to
it's
the
like
last two.
Battlefield.
Advanced Garden
Yeah,
Warfare.
exactly. Can you
I
imagine
think-
massive open maps?
I think Garden Warfare did surprisingly well for them because we've said this on the podcast before. It's one of the few shooters. It's a bit like Splatoon, I think.
Yeah,
one of the
very
few
much
shooters
so.
that kids or parents are prepared to buy their kids. That's not Call of Duty, etc., etc. Whenever I played it, all you hear is kids and dads playing it with their kids and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool.
And you in the corner on the headset.
I thought it was a good game. But yeah, we don't know if it's a new Garden Warfare. I would assume that it is a new Garden Warfare.
Did they announce when it's going to come out?
It's the same window as Mirror's Edge. It's early next year.
Did they say Mirror's Edge 2?
No.
They just said Mirror's Edge?
Yeah.
Because some other people were reporting that it was Mirror's Edge 2. I was thinking to myself,
Haven't they said it's a reboot, right?
is it actually called Mirror's Edge 2?
Or a
That scares
prequel?
me.
It's a prequel or something.
I think just as long as they don't. I mean, I think they actually will do this because the other one didn't sell that well. But as long as they keep what was true to the first one, intact. But I think you're right. I don't think they will. But that's what I want. But unfortunately, I believe I'm in the minority.
I'm already the open world combat.
See, that's the thing. The best thing about the first one was the
Type parkour,
but also
specifically
that
created
you
levels.
you don't need to use the combat. Like that was the whole. I went to my first
Combat was
play.
shite.
It was rubbish. Plus, you didn't have to use it. You could use your wit and your agility or whatever to get around that stuff. And that's why it was so refreshing. Why I enjoyed it. If it just becomes another game where you're running around shooting things, it loses its edge.
I don't know if they do shooting.
Mirrors, mirrors.
Shite, Miller.
Oh, thanks very much. Appreciate
They
it.
might push the melee style. I don't know. I think they're probably aware the gunplay was crap. I don't know if they.
But maybe
push that.
rather than kind of focus on what was good, they then try and bring up to standard what was bad. So you do lose what made
Maybe.
Mirror's Edge, and you have a whole combat game. Take out the story though; that was shit. That was absolute bollocks last time.
Runners.
Yeah, it's like,
The guy got assassinated. Your sister got framed.
I started skipping cutscenes to be honest. It was so bad. I just want to play the game. Don't care what's happening.
Yeah, that's true.
New Need for Speed as well this year.
Well, they announced that before, but I think it's the first time they've dated it.
Yeah.
It's typical, isn't it?
Do we know what it is? Anything like studio game?
It's Ghost Games. They did Rivals.
Yeah.
Rivals. I imagine it'll be Underground 3. I think it has to be Underground.
I'd be up for Underground 3.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, I'm
That's all
excited
people
about
have been
that.
asking for years. Bring
Yeah.
back Need for Speed Underground. And they're in their little, they like rebooting their classic
What
Need for
was
Speed
the
stuff.
Canyon one? When you did Canyon
Carbon.
races.
The run?
Need for Speed Carbon.
That was such a good
Carbon.
game. No one, everyone believed. But his face is
That's
absolutely
there's
disgusting.
not been a good Need for Speed game since Hot Pursuit 3 or whatever it's Need
That's
for
a
Speed
lie
3.
burns. The
Hot
Criterion
Pursuit-
games were great.
No, they're so dull. Like I can't
joking.
just can't get on with Need for Speed at all.
Carbon was all right though, Miller. You're right.
I like that the Canyon races were really fun.
I
They're
finished
really
Carbon
good.
not that long ago, maybe a
good.
year or 2 years ago. It was all right.
And
Best
I
one-
liked Underground as well.
Best one's Need for Speed 3 on
I can't even
PlayStation.
remember Blame 3 to be honest.
People just want that Fast and Furious shit. They
Yeah.
just
Well, now
want-
they'd be stupid not to
Customization.
tie into that because
Yeah.
that film is now like the biggest film ever or whatever on the 7th iteration. So why not try and tie into that? It's not like anyone's making any Fast and Furious games.
I wonder whether they'll tie it into their own film franchise. Whether they'll have.
That's a good point.
That was fucking rubbish. And
But it
even-
did well financially. It made a lot of money.
But will it have Breaking Bad guy in it?
No, I
Have you
doubt
read
it.
the
Character.
interview with
Money, I
Aaron
imagine.
Paul about it?
About the film?
It was an Esquire, and they were like, "So you're
Of course
in
we
the,
haven't read it.
you're
It's
in
an
the-
Esquire.
Oh right, sorry that you people just read the back of fucking cereal cartons.
I love the back of the Frosties box.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is better than most video game websites. Yeah, he's being interviewed, and they say, "So you're in Breaking Bad. That's an amazing achievement, and now you're in Need for Speed." And the interview, it was a press junket for Need for Speed, and he went, "Yeah, well, look, let's not really talk about that. 'Cause that's just a
Amazing.
financial decision. Like, you're promoting the movie."
I have so much respect for that. It makes me like him more as an
They
actor.
must have
It's the
offered him
best.
about $7 million. He went, "Yep." And I watched it on the plane to E3 last year.
How bad is it? I haven't seen it.
Doesn't make any sense.
Of course it
Like,
doesn't.
none of it makes any sense whatsoever, and that would be fine. But it's so dull. It's got one of those horrible backstories, like, "Oh, I was going out with this girl, but now she's going out with the rich guy, and I got to race the rich guy." Like,
South Park
no
episode.
one cares.
There's a new one coming out. Apparently, it was massive in China. That film. Apparently.
So is Fast and the Furious.
Is
I
it?
think they like
Yeah.
car films.
So
I
this
don't know.
film is being set in China. The new one.
That makes sense. Tie into your market.
A lot of movies
But
doing that.
I would take Need for Speed Underground 3 just for the less neon. Need for
I think
Speed
they
Underground
have to
2
do
had
it.
too much neon. But you take some of that away, you make it a bit more realistic and less like, cool and urban, which was their big thing. And I'll be up for
I
it.
think you look at what they're doing with a mobile game. They've got a mobile game as well this year. I think it's called No Limits. And that
Need for
is-
Speed, No Limits,
Yeah,
right.
and that is basically an underground spin-off.
It's a
Right.
free to play, and the limit is you've got 5 lives per day.
you got to pay money for
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
I'm
the
not saying
limit.
it's gonna
You've
be
got to pay
any good.
shitloads.
Hey, you can't argue with EA for doing that when, like we said before, Simpsons tapped out, whatever the fuck it's called, makes $1 billion a day.
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
you're going to try and make more money out of it. So
It's just ironic that it's called No Limits. They put as many limits as they can.
it's like Game of War. Game of War's
Oh my
advertising in
God.
cinemas now.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, they got a lot of money.
Yeah. More
What's
E3 though. Titanfall 2.
You, see,
It's not technically called Titanfall 2 because they've never actually referred to it as
Titanfall?
Titanfall.
Dave, if it's at E3, I definitely want you to see it, so you can just go, so let's talk about Titanfall. And just every time they look at you like, you mean Titanfall 2? But like, that's what I said.
Titanfall.
Just constant tap on your shoulder from the PR going, it's actually Titanfall.
Did they give us any more information about it? When we can expect it? What it is? Who's doing it?
They suggested it won't be out until at least April next year. But I think it'll be longer than that. I think it'll be March 2017.
Are you sure there's not going to be a little tease this year, Dave?
I don't think there will be. I think
Not even a tiny, teeny.
They're probably
one.
they teased a flipping game that wasn't even real at last year's E3, so they'll probably tease
When was
something.
that?
Maybe it was 2 years ago.
Oh, the Burnout.
The Burnout game.
Not
The
Burnout, but you know what I
car
mean. Criterion.
Yeah.
What happened with that, by the way? I want to talk about this because I interviewed them last year at E3 after they'd shown it off. And they kind of said, this is a new thing that we want to do. We want to have regular updates with the community and bring you in and show you the game as we're making it. Haven't seen it for 12 months. Announced it, gone. What's happening there?
It's classic, you know.
Good and evil.
I feel like
Didn't happen.
it feels like that was just a thing when early access was just starting to take off a little bit, and they were like, let's integrate that into AAA. And now it's like, maybe we shouldn't do that because we've actually got investors.
Yeah, but that press conference as a whole was nonsense. Isn't that
They had
BioWare
lots
game
of Mirror's
cancelled
Edge,
now
Mass
as well?
Effect, all that.
No, but didn't they announce that BioWare
Shadow Realms?
And that's dead.
Yeah.
So it was a waste of time.
Everything they tried pushing as an early access for the community thing, there was like, no, actually, the community's mental.
Now it's now the Rory McIlroy game. Is that still ridiculous? You still have to go
I'm
through
gonna
bulk
call it
pages?
Play through
They've changed their messaging on it, but yes.
That's still in there.
They've tried to push it now as a realistic
Of
golf
course,
game.
it's a bollocks conference that was. Bunch of lies.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good about it. That was
Crazy
total
golf.
bullshit.
The whole thing was, this is what we'd like to do, but we're not actually going to do any of it.
Can you
It still
imagine
does
that?
have those courses in it, but they're not talking
It'd be a
about
mini
that
game
anymore.
or something,
But
won't
can you
they?
imagine that front cover with the Battlefield guy playing the swing? Can you imagine that? Just a
I'd
full
buy it.
soldier, a marine,
I'd
just on the
probably
back of the
buy it.
Battlefield
Army
ship,
men
teeing
game.
off.
That was one of those conferences that was mid-transition. We don't have anything ready to show, so
Yeah,
let's just
You're
show
going to hope
exactly.
this is right.
some ideas that we've got.
Yeah.
Also, who is going to call that Rory McIlroy? I'm just going to call it Tiger Woods. Walk in there and be like, right, let's talk about Tiger Woods. It'd be like,
Please
You'll
do that.
ask Rory McIlroy that as well. Interview with Rory McIlroy. Let's talk about Tiger Woods golf.
How's
it'd
it
be
feel
like
to be the
changing
new Tiger
Madden
Woods?
into, I don't know, fucking Mike Ditka football. It'd be like, nope, like just Mad. It's just called Madden.
What are they
It's
going to
cause
do
Tiger.
when Madden dies? That is going to
Oh,
cause
well,
a
they'll
litigation.
have locked in his
Holographic body.
after he dies, like Tom Clancy. Wouldn't surprise me if they had a deal to use his name on that IP
For 50 years.
for however many years, because it's just called Madden now.
Yeah.
Not called EA Sports presents Madden 25. It's just where's Madden?
Yeah,
I want to play
where's Madden?
Madden.
I want new Madden.
Even in Vanity Fair. The New Yorker's reading an article about a guy pirating games. He's like, "Oh man, just playing Madden before it was out."
Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. What else have they got to tease us with? I look
I'm
at you,
trying to
Dave.
think,
I can't
I'm
remember
trying
it
to
now,
think.
but I hope you will.
I think that was really about it. They talked about FIFA 16.
Now, obviously.
You know,
They talked
September
about
this year.
Madden
Talked about Madden.
a little bit.
And
NHL,
could put the-
NBA.
You know when they're coming out.
NBA, did that come out last year?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's back now.
The fact that's even
It
a
went to-
question.
it
Well, no,
went-
but there was a big, there's a big gap, wasn't there? Big absence when NBA just went off the radar.
No,
cocked
what
it
happened
up,
was they
remember?
was going to release it, then they cancelled it because it
Yeah.
was shit and nowhere near as good as 2K. Then they
Yeah.
released 14 and it was terrible. 15, not as bad, still very bad.
Right,
and it went
okay.
on to EA Access very, very quickly.
Why are they
Right.
bothering?
I don't
Presumably
know.
It's just a license thing. They
I
have
think
a
because if they don't, they'll lose the
responsibility
license, and then they probably think it puts too much power in 2K's court. So they got.
Another
game
pun.
to- Yeah, that's it, Millie.
Oh man, I don't even mean
All
that
on the
one
pun.
wasn't even
That was
intentional at
another
all.
one. But the
I
thing
like
is,
the
you know,
C3 talk, though. It excites me.
Yeah,
I want to talk more.
We need to find
Well-
out which flight we're on, Dave, and then we can see what film
We
it's gonna be.
haven't discussed this yet, Buzz. We did briefly mention it in the podcast that's dead. It may be in the edit later on. Who even knows?
I may record a little thing just in case I can't edit it together. Me talking, saying, right, this is an edit, but we'll get to that in a minute.
But yeah, it's me and you, Burns, right?
We're off to E3.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, we've just been speaking to some publishers,
Yes.
platform holders about appointments. It's all very exciting. And keep on winding up one big publisher about the latest installment in one of their long-running game franchises. And they're staunchly denying it, which means it'll probably be there.
What's that?
I can't say, obviously.
okay.
I can't
I don't know about this either.
Wow.
You do know, Dave.
Do
You
I?
do know. Yeah, you do.
Talk about it off.
Yeah,
Skylanders?
you do.
Do you want to talk about the new terrifying Tony Hawk that's coming out as we're talking about announcements?
Oh, that's true.
Well, it's called Tony Hawk 5.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skeleton.
Why is it called Tony Hawk's?
Miller,
Why is it called Tony Hawk's 5?
it's going back to its roots, but you can shoot basketballs out the skateboards.
And it's got weird like zombie fingers, as you pointed
You know
out.
what? Man, I didn't even know. I just saw it, Tony Hawk, and just
It's
didn't.
called Tony Hawk 5. We've had Project 9 or whatever
Project
the flip
8.
it's called. Project 8
was
yeah.
okay, actually.
Project was really good. It came at such a good time on the Xbox 360. That was a great demo. Did well.
Yes, the demo was fantastic.
It's called Pro Skater 5. They want
That's
to.
still nonsense.
They want to put it across. It's a Pro Skater game, which,
Yeah, but-
by the way, were the good ones, if you remember. Right.
But what about
So
the
was
basketballs?
Underground.
Oh, I hated the Underground game.
Underground was
Underground
great.
But at least
Shite.
the elements
It
were
wasn't.
still. It didn't get as bad as like
Yeah,
Ride or anything like
When
that.
you got off the board and had to climb on top of houses.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible,
Because
actually, yeah,
GTA
that was
was big. Fuck.
Project 8 was good though.
Project 8 was great because it looked good on the your
it
new
did
console,
look
but
good,
also the
didn't it?
demo came out at a point where you wanted new stuff,
Yeah.
and it looked good. And there was enough using that swimming pool bit, wasn't it? That's all I
Yeah.
can remember. And it used the demo really well. But who?
I think it looked better than Pro Skater 5.
Well, but that's the thing. Pro Skater 5 looks like a game made by someone that doesn't understand what Tony Hawk's all about.
Visually, it looks dire.
It looks like a game from the PS2 days.
Wow.
But why the hell is he shooting basketball? You can shoot guns or something.
It's co-developed by Robomodo and this.
They made Ride. They made
They
Ride.
made Ride, Shred, and the HD Tony Hawk,
Which is also
Which
bad.
always, yeah, it was also
that
not
was
good.
rough.
and another studio that I've never heard of called Disruptive Studios.
Oh, I love Disruptive Studios.
I get the impression that Activision are trying to bring back their older franchises that people want to come back, maybe, or that they're not prepared to take a massive punt on because they're not entirely sure about. Like Guitar Hero looks a bit budget, and it's developed by.
It makes no sense to
Freestyle.
me, Guitar Hero. After the Rockstar, what's it called? Rock Band stuff came out, and it was. I've had my big chat about how I don't agree with them anyway, but it looked very familiar and made sense to my brain. I don't understand how Guitar Hero works.
No, it's
I cannot
ridiculous.
understand how you play that game. Like
It's
because
a
they've
series
changed.
of FMVs stitched together.
No, but I mean
isn't
they've
it?
changed the whole mechanics of it. Is it? It's not like 5 buttons on a guitar. It's
It's 3 and 3.
buttons. I
yeah.
don't.
It's 2 rows of 3.
Yeah,
isn't
that's like
it?
nonsense to me. But anyway, sorry, keep going. It's just-
Yeah, so they've got that and Tony Hawk, which just looks a bit budget as well. Like, I don't know what.
Well,
and there's other IPs they're bringing back, right? Aren't they? I think they've said they're having 10 games this year or something.
Well,
They're bringing back
Spider-Man will
that Call
come
of
back,
Duty
won't it?
game.
I heard about that. Yeah.
What's what?
They're bringing back that Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
2003.
Don't know why they're bothering me.
When is Tony Hawk out?
This year on current gen. I don't know about last gen. so it's a
should
cross-gen
we-
game.
Wait, what
but-
do you mean? Currently, the Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
You could legitimately ask about a Wii U version, though, based on how those screens look, because it looks that bad.
Oh, that is a sick burn.
I don't. If it's got all this weird stuff in it, like if they actually said this is like we're going to stay true to the roots or whatever, I'd be more interested because those games were great. But if you're shooting 5 balls or whatever it was, basketballs,
Basketballs.
Is that
guns
replacing the
and-
skate, collect the skate thing? Is that what that's
Oh,
doing?
No,
maybe.
it's still got all that stuff in it.
Oh, they have.
But there's like missions. Apparently, I just read the Game Informer. I skimmed through the Game Informer preview.
Do you know
and
what? I'm not going to shit on it too much. Actually, think about it because those games were really good. If they can capture the
It
magic
might just
and
be a
spirit of
shitty
those,
little mini game that
Exactly.
they show preview, and it's
Exactly.
completely overblown.
If they capture
Right.
the spirit and magic of those games, you know what? I'll actually buy it and I'll play it and I'll enjoy it. So I'm not. Actually, I'm going to take it back. I've been too judgmental on that game. That's not fair.
What are all these games that look like shit though?
Well,
Cross-gen stuff needs to die.
Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
really
it's
does.
definitely.
They need to
Something.
stop
I thought
doing
this
it.
was the year when I thought Warner Brothers and who else is doing well with it? I can't remember now. Someone else is the band.
Tell you what does look nice. Wolfenstein. The old blood.
How much you played now?
Played...
Because there may be a bit in this the new bit, which is now the old bit, where we say you haven't played it yet, but now we're 24 hours on, so you've played
it's
a bit.
amazing.
Should we just do the whole thing again,
Tell,
Miller?
tell
No,
me
Scrap this
Genesis.
whole thing.
No, because it's going to take me too long. It's going to ruin my life. Don't
Will
worry,
it
I've
take
got-
you longer than half an hour to
Yeah,
read it?
I've got a plan. Don't worry. I've
All
got a
right,
plan.
Miller's
Talk
got
about
a
the
plan.
old order, then we'll wrap this bit up. Then
The old order.
I'm going to
The
the
new
editing
DLC.
studio for about 25 hours.
So, now I enjoyed Wolfenstein, the New Order, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it like a lot of people did. I found a lot of its elements were really shit, like that laser gun that you had to open grates and stuff with. Fuck that. That's gone, and it's. I'm not sure it's a trend, but there's been a lot of like DLC. It seems where the DLC crystallizes what made the bloated bigger game really like good in places. It just gets rid of all the crap, all the filler, and so far I'm having a lot of fun with
Really? Well, there you
with
go.
the old blood.
6 out of 10 fun.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a bit. It's a bit slow to begin with as you go into Castle Wolfenstein.
I don't mind that though because it does try to build up atmosphere. Like the first game tried to do that,
Yeah.
which I'm all right with.
And now, in the review, I'm going to say, and this sounds bad and a little cynical, but Nazi Germany in World War II is pretty much the best pre-baked franchise property for anything really, because everyone already knows. Like, you know, in Hollywood they're like, oh, it's already got a following, so you buy a comic book and you license the comic book and you make it into a movie. World War II is that, because there's no explanation to the opening of this game, nor really is there to Wolfenstein. You turn up, you're an Allied soldier, you got to fuck shit up. And what I like about this one is like I was saying, they just cut away so far. They could fuck it up sooner rather than later, but they cut away a lot of the nonsense. So yeah, you have to break out of jail in the beginning.
Classic.
You've got a little
Monopoly.
You've got a little shank and stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's good so far. And there's fewer of those stealth sections so far as well. You know, we get the commander and you've got to take him out before he calls in the reinforcements. I remember seeing you play it.
I liked some.
But there's that bit where you're in the mines and he always sees you when they come around the corner.
No matter what you do. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Oh, it's so bad. People
Fuck
have to go at
me!
me
That
for
was
that.
2-second flip then.
I know.
also, but
I remember it
tonally-
came back to me.
Tonally, I agreed with you, Miller, that Wolfenstein and TNO was all like flip-flopping all over the show. It seems a bit more serious here. Like there's
Because that annoyed me, because a lot of people like came at me and said, well, you shouldn't be bothered about that. It's just a video game. But that's always the argument that's flipped on its head when it agrees with them. It's like people
shit
say,
about a script. It's just
well,
a
exactly.
movie.
But then people say, but that's the whole point. If I'm going to buy into something, it's just easier if it makes a lot of sense rather than keep sort of shifting parts anyway. But this sounds like maybe they've... How long is it? Do you know? Is it like a full-on...
I don't know. It's apparently it's fairly
I think it was
sizable.
about 8 to 12 hours.
It's a
It's,
game, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did Wolfenstein at this point, which I'm playing it. And also, the voiceover is still absolutely phenomenally good. Like I was saying, and you'll hear this in a
Here
bit.
in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So look forward to me talking about that in the past, whilst now talking about in the future.
This is the greatest
I've
podcast
got
we've
to
ever
go.
done.
I was
Break
worried
time
that it'd
travel.
feel a bit like a cash-in, in that Wolfenstein New Order did maybe better than Bethesda expected it would do.
I was a bit worried that it would just start and you'd be like, right.
So it doesn't feel like a piece of DLC that's just been stretched out over.
So far, no, but it does have elements where you're like, okay, so a lot of it is you climb walls now. So you get a pipe, you get thrown into a jail. It's like a pit, and you try to climb up a bit of exposed piping, and it breaks. And now suddenly you've got a shank which you can put like the sharpened end into the top of the pipe if you want to kill people, or to climb up you can. Like that bit in Modern Warfare 2, you know, in the cliff when you got the pickaxes or whatever. That's essentially the same mechanic. But yeah, it's got some nice stuff like these new enemies, because it's set in 1946, I think. So the war is just about to be won by the Nazis in that timeline. And so you got these enemies that have power armor, but they don't have mobile like power batteries, essentially cells. So you have to. So they've got big like wires coming out of them that attach to the ceiling. So when they're on patrol, you have to wait, it's a bit stealthy, and then power it down. But there's a lovely tension because it takes just that bit longer to pull the lever down. So there's nice stuff like that. But it does overuse some of those elements a little bit so far. But I've just got on a boat. It feels in its opening like the latter stages of Half-Life 2. So you know when you're in the giant fucking citadel monolith thing. And I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
Imagine you think it's great and you don't want to give it like a 9.
There you go.
I've kind of ruined that review skill for you. Never mind.
No.
Okay, well, we are now going to magically segue into the podcast we recorded yesterday. If it sounds a bit nuts, it's because it was a bit nuts. But yeah, let's do that.
Wow.
Let's do the happy ending.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, so for a bit of clarity, you are now about to join the Video Gamer UK podcast as Brett Phipps talks about Project Cars.
That PS1 go-kart
Mario
race.
Kart.
Mario
Not Mario
Kart.
Kart, the one with the sumo wrestler.
Crash Team Racing.
No,
But the
that was
sumo
Crash
wrestler.
I
Bandicoot.
don't know about sumo wrestler.
You don't remember that?
No, sounds amazing.
Street Racer. That
Street
one.
Racer, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
that
remember
was
that, yeah.
No, because
It's like that bloody game.
you can. There's 3 different levels you can start the career mode at. You can start at the very bottom. You can start as in a car in a higher tier of race, like a better car, faster cars, ready to challenge for a championship. Or you can be in the very fastest, like Formula A, challenging for a triple crown. You've won 2 championships, trying to win in all 3 disciplines. But while you're driving in the lower tier go-karts, you can also get invited to other races. While I've been doing the go-kart seasons, I've been invited to drive in caterhams, in
So it's
track
quite
cars,
a lot of
track
depth to
days.
it then. This sounds like...
Yeah. There's, although like Dave argues that there aren't many cars, there's lots of different types of cars, and that's enough. Like I say, there may only be 1 or 2 types within each class, but that is enough. You
Right.
know, like The road cars, there aren't that many from what I've seen. You know, you've got the Mercedes, you've got the Porsches, but that is enough for what I've been playing, and I've enjoyed it in that regard.
But is it fun? And that's a weird thing to say, but my problem with games like Forza and Gran Turismo, Forza less so, they're not fun because they're so serious. It's like, it's so bland.
Yeah, I'd say for you, no.
Right.
But what I enjoy in these games is learning and feeling myself getting better. You know, that is what it's a very nerdy game in that regard. You know, you have to become a bit obsessive when you play these games. You're not looking to fly around the track, you know, get the arse of the car swinging around and at the edge of your seat. You're looking to learn braking zones, hit the apex, drive an outstanding lap and keep control of the car. And that, I really enjoy playing that sort of game. As I enjoy Mario Kart, I enjoy all those. This isn't that. This is a sim game where you're learning to keep control of your car, learn to take skillful overtakes. You know, like there's times like you can have 30 cars on the track, which can be manic, but you can weave your way through them. Because like there's times when I've really messed up qualifying, and you can restart. There's no rewind, but if you think, oh fuck it, I'll just go through. I'm in 25th. I managed to weave my way up to 7th, and that is really enjoyable. Knowing that you're good enough to work your way up the track, that is really enjoyable. But for some people, it won't be for them. As much as it's been put across as in this is a great driving game for all people, it won't be.
That's the thing. Like I'm a racing guy, and I'm not excited for it. There's just something about it that I think because it's so static and because it's so...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know, like...
outside of the actual race itself, there isn't a lot going on.
Even in the race, it looks dull. There's nothing going on in that game. It looks like...
Well, if you're not driving, then you'll definitely be...
I think the thing about this is that there are a lot of people... And to be honest, I'm quite surprised that Gran Turismo has the audience that it does, because I would have thought a lot of people would think the same thing about that. But... I get the impression that there are a lot of people excited for this, but they're excited for it because it is the first Gran Turismo-like game on PS4. So, and I think they'll play it and they'll be like, it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Well,
and I don't think it looks as good as I thought it was going to be.
Well,
it doesn't look as good as those screenshots they've put out. The PS4 version doesn't.
No,
it looks good.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look as good as what you'd maybe expect a Gran Turismo game.
Yeah, again, it's too narrow a definition of what people find exciting. People picking up this, the people who won't return the game after picking up,
I don't think mainstream would want.
This isn't mainstream though. This definitely isn't mainstream.
I realise that, but Gran Turismo is. And I think there are a lot. It is. Gran Turismo is huge. And I think there's a lot of people thinking, this is my PS4 Gran Turismo.
But everyone knows
Gran Turismo is here.
Everyone knows Gran Turismo is one of the most boring games out there for anyone who isn't massively into the cars that it offers. You know, you look at that menu and...
But I think it's all about the structure as well as Gran Turismo. In Gran Turismo, you earn your money, you buy new cars. That's not what Project Cars is, right?
No.
You can jump into any car at any point. Am I right?
Well, it depends on what you start.
I thought the career was just open. You could just do whatever you wanted.
No.
A bit like Forza 5.
No, it depends on what you start. Again, how early you start your career, in the sense of you want to start at the very bottom or wherever. But what will happen is you'll start in a discipline, like I say, go-karts or track racing, and then the better you perform, the more attention you'll get. At the end of each season, you'll get invited to sign with different teams as you move up, and there'll be higher classes of cars. But the more attention you get, you'll get invitations to track days in other cars as well. Like I say, with the Caterhams, you'll get put in a Mercedes S-Class or whatever it is for one day or another tournament, and they do it like leagues, like Formula One, where while you're committed to go-karts in one event, you'll also be doing 4 races in a Porsche, and then you'll have to try and do better in that. So while the season's going on, there'll be all different events going on you have to compete in.
I'm intrigued by it, but I'm not excited by it. I don't know what it does differently to any other
I don't like the
simulator.
name.
No, I don't like it. I hate the name.
The name is bland.
It's a code name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially.
And I think that sort of says it all, really, for that game. Do you know what I mean?
I like it more, Dave, because you don't like it.
No, I'm not. I don't want to say I don't like it.
Only joking, YouTube
Because I
people.
haven't played the
Calm
final
down.
game. I have watched you play a little bit of the final game, and I played a little bit of the preview code. And I don't know what it does differently. The simulation, is it any better, really, than what Forza does, than what Gran Turismo does?
Where would you rank them, those 3 games? Does it fight its way in, or is it at the bottom of those 3 games?
I enjoy it more than Gran Turismo, purely because I really disliked 6. I like Forza the best.
Yeah.
I've always been enjoyed because there's something, I don't know what it is about Forza, but there's something that always makes you feel like you're just on the brink of losing control, but you don't. And there's always that sense of
Like life.
speed. Yeah.
But from a presentation, they feel a bit premium as well.
Yeah.
Does this feel like that? Because it's
A budget version, maybe you mean.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is it like it wants to be up there?
Yeah, yeah.
But perhaps it's, and that's the point. Like,
Yeah, I know.
if it's
no, I
not
do
as
know
good
what
as
you mean.
those, what's the point? Because there's a new Forza this year. There'll be a Gran Turismo at some point soon, I imagine. And sure, like you could say, what's the point of a new shooter when Call of Duty's coming out? You know, but I don't know, because these are so
No, I do not. It does feel like
they're hardcore. It's a hardcore game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the menus, like I say, are incredibly bland and
Deliberately
static.
so, though, right? They're done for the. This is for petrol heads.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there's a lot of non-petrol heads that are thinking, I'm well up for a new racer, this will be it. And I don't know if it will be.
It won't be it.
I think I could probably fall into that category. Do you know what I mean? Like I did that with Forza. Before Forza, I mean, Forza really took off with the third one. Was that the first one? What was the first one? Xbox 360
3.
when all of a sudden it was everywhere.
3.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the case, but I always thought it was.
4 felt
Forza
like it got
2 was
massive.
the first 360.
Maybe it's Forza 2.
Was it 2?
Oh, you're right. It was, yes, because he's right. It was
Oh,
Forza
right,
2.
yeah.
And I remember I pressed, I think I want to play this. And exactly what you just described happened to me. I was like, oh, no, this is not
Yeah,
what I wanted at
yeah.
all. So I guess a few people could walk into this and they just get burned massively, I guess.
Yeah,
And be like,
yeah.
It's not. I mean, I think.
I don't want to sound too down on it because I haven't played it, and you know,
Hmm.
I don't want to be a dick and be one of those guys judging it before you've even had a chance. Give it a
Yeah.
chance.
No, but perception still counts. At an early stage before it comes out, the perception is that it's bland. That's not great. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, I
But
think
there'll be
to
those
general.
people looking for experience like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But
But that's the thing. I do agree with you in that it does feel like it doesn't have, and obviously it won't because of how it came to be. It won't have the production values of Forza. But when it comes to racing on the track, it does it very nice. But like you say, outside of that, it's that outside the actual track itself. You know, it looks a bit.
also, the rain effect is shite. On the
Oh, he
camera.
moaned about it. He moaned about
The
this.
rain looks rubbish on the camp.
Is that because Drive Club's rain so good?
Maybe
Drive Club's bollocks.
not
It's
the
a great
actual
rain,
rain
though.
in the
Rain looks
when-
amazing.
When the
Drive
rain
Club.
hits the camera,
That's
it
the thing,
looks
'cause
rubbish. It
I
looks
was
like someone's
driving-
putting Vaseline. It looks like someone's gobbed on the camera and just sort of drains off. It's odd. It's weird. It's not natural.
There you go. I don't know. I'm kind of in Dave's camp a little bit. Then again, I'm not that guy. This game isn't for me whatsoever.
yeah.
It's never meant to be for me. So I was never going to play it. I was more intrigued because I know what you felt about it at the preview stage.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting that it's come so far since then. And
It was only a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
You know what'll happen as well? I'll play it on Friday and I'll be like,
you love it.
this is the best game.
I mean, it's nice that there's a third, not a third party, a multi-platform version of that game. You don't have to pick Gran Turismo. I guess, you know, if you've got a PS4, but you can't. No, it doesn't work at all. Either way, it works. Play anything else, Brett? Anything else you want to talk about before we move on to Pastures New?
No, I've just been playing Pokemon Shuffle and Train Journeys, and that's really.
Pokemon Shuffle.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the game everyone's moaning about. Why are people moaning about it?
Because I don't know. They're probably
Nintendo does free
playing
to
it
play,
wrong.
innit?
Free to start.
Use your 5 lives and then that's it.
You
That's
like it, though?
Yeah. It's just like one of those classic match 3 things. Use me 5
Oh,
lives.
it's one of those games?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's fine.
It's fun, you know. You just whatever class of Pokemon you pick, you fight another Pokemon. If you do well enough, you can
Oh, I'd
catch
play
it.
that.
It's just
I'm
fun.
Make it. I'm that
I'm
guy.
90. I'm stuck on level 90.
Fair play.
I know.
Do you know what I'm stuck on at the moment? I say this, we're not going to talk about it, but as you like it.
Hmm.
How high can you get on Test Your Might? Are you playing Mortal Kombat as well?
Oh, I finished.
Yeah.
Can you finished the
Finished.
Test Your Might time? How the fuck
did
did you get
Test
past
Your
level
Might.
10? Do you get past level 10?
Yeah.
How? What do you do?
Oh, I mean, you got to be quick with the fingers.
Masturbate a lot.
Masturbate controls.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Can I get past level 10?
Did you play a lot of track and field as a kid?
So much. I'm good at track and
Oh,
field.
really?
I'm unbeatable at track and field, but I cannot do Test Your Might.
How are you
I
holding the
do.
controller? Hold the controller sideways.
Oh, no, I'm doing like that, and like flat
Yeah,
down.
hold it
and then-
sideways.
Oh, what's
Okay.
that?
And then you
What
can
grip is
and then
that?
just rub.
Oh, rub
You know-
it.
really fast.
You know what you do as well?
Yeah.
Because if you change your grip,
Looks a bit filth, but works.
you got it on PS4, right?
Yeah.
What you do, because the triggers are so easy to push, you just put it and use your leg to push the triggers. You haven't got to worry about fucking up your grip. You just focus all on
Shit.
pushing the buttons.
You two have gone well above me.
push,
aren't you?
push the controller so the trigger is done by your leg.
All right,
Done.
I'll get Test Your Might done before
Yeah.
next week. Burns, what have you been playing this week?
I paid £92 for a train ride to Cardiff,
I didn't know what you were going to say. What the fuck did I buy for 92 quid?
and I played the game of sit on the train for 2 hours and
Yeah.
9 minutes.
That's a good game.
While everyone else in the world piles into the train, and they're just sitting in the aisle praying for death.
That sounds
essentially.
horrendous. Doesn't
Oh,
it?
it's
was,
bank holiday,
uh,
isn't it? So
1 out
everyone's
of
gonna
10
be-
Well,
game.
this was the Friday, so everyone was trying to get the fuck out
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a last minute sort of decision to go to Cardiff. And yeah, so I went to Cardiff, and I did tweet about Wales.
Played Cardiff.
I did tweet saying that Evolution had forgotten these people.
What did you do in Cardiff? We just hung out, played Nintendo?
Yeah, I went to my friend's house. He's got a big oil painting of Charlie Day from Always Sunny on his wall.
I quite like that, actually. I kind of went through all the emotions then. But
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But yeah, he moved out there, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll come over. We'll watch the boxing."
Yeah,
Played foot golf. That's what I played. You know, football golf.
Oh, I'm excited to hear about. Yeah, we spoke about this.
So I played.
Before we say this, is this a potential app that we could make and make loads of money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's blatantly already made it. So, you know, people have probably already played it or heard about it. It's just golf, but you kick a ball towards the pin, and then when you're on the green, you putt the ball by side footing it in the
Is it a
hole.
real course?
It was not like it's not Augusta. But
I mean, it's an actual thing.
Yeah,
you play,
it's
not
like
something you make up
9
yourself.
holes and stuff.
Oh, right,
9
okay.
hole. We've got to do this.
That sounds pretty good.
Fiji versus. Be
So-
amazing.
Wait, we're like sand bunkers and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I turned up, and I turned up to Cardiff, and it was like a last minute decision, as you know, Dave, because I was umming and ahhing. So
Oh,
it's
you
a
were.
long
We
way.
were on the live stream the other day.
And,
You didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So all I had on me was like one pair of clothes. So I had to go and pick up some other clothes and stuff, and a pair of boots, which I'm wearing now. They're like, you know.
What, you just bought
Big-
clothes because
big
you
boots.
were away without clothes?
Oh, I mean that's what you do, right?
Not good football gear. The shoes.
No. So the shoes aren't good. The boots. So I turned up, and I was like, right.
Why didn't you just wear the same clothes
No, because
for a day?
you can't play foot golf in boots. But there weren't any. I couldn't get any shoes.
So you bought new shoes?
No, I didn't get. No, I had
Right.
to just go essentially.
Okay.
Play barefoot.
Yeah, I took my boot off, and I'm walking around. At this point, I've had to borrow a pair of jogging bottoms. Imagine me in a pair of jogging bottoms, people. I'm sure it's
burns.
and
Imagine
yeah,
that.
Imagine the look
And-
on his face.
yeah, someone's and a t-shirt that I'd borrowed, and I'm walking around. I've got a pair of sunglasses on, despite the fact it's absolutely pissing it down. And now I've got my boot tied around my neck, so I don't look well. I look like a very unwell man.
Like the caddy in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, pretty
Flipped
much. And the guy whose house it was, one of our mutual friends, had told me that he had been mouthing off about my football talent at
Unbelievable.
a house party. So I was like, I'm going to win
In your
this
house.
fucking thing. And I did. I backheeled the first one in, and everyone was like, oh, shit.
Damn
There
right.
you go.
Burns his
But
ear.
that was a necessity because I couldn't get in to where the ball was because it was stinging nettles. I didn't have any shoes on.
Right, yeah, kinda
So off I
screwed.
went, and then I won. And then amazingly, in the background of someone's wedding shot is now me with a boot tied around my neck, walking, absolutely drenched, walking out because where it's like a golf course. And someone was having their wedding photos done. Some guy was like on the roof of this thing. Everyone was going, way. And in the background looking looking absolutely terrified.
I love it.
So yeah. So foot golf, play it. It's very fun. And also, there's loads of guys that turn up in the full fucking regalia, like the boots and the
Shin
fucking-
pads.
Yeah, and they're crap. Those guys are always the worst.
Of course they are.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I think all those
they
guys didn't have a
overcompensate.
shoe on.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Overcompensate with the gear.
Oh man, we were all because these guys wouldn't let us play through, so we had to watch them play. And the first guy stepped up. He said he was a bit nervy. He just shanked it literally into the club.
Dog ear. Amazing.
Well done, mate. Well done. You fucked it.
That's a
But
good
yeah,
game, though.
do
I'd
it.
play
It's a
that.
That'd
good
be
game.
great.
They
I
should
think
make
it's
an
a good
app
game.
for that.
They should imagine that like Perlo just on it, just puts the spin on it.
Can you imagine how
Puts
disgusting
it 10
that would
yards
be?
past the
Hello's
pin,
foot golf.
spins
It's gonna
back.
happen now.
Hello's foot golf.
we just lost out £40 million.
You played Uncanny Valley, though, which Tom was talking about last week. You reviewed it for
Oh, Real Video
VideoGamer.com. Yeah.
I did,
But I just
yeah.
intrigued your take on it, because Tom made it sound like the most intriguing and potentially greatest game ever, and you came down kind of the other side of that.
I liked it. Well, I liked a lot of what he was trying to do. I actually got not addicted, but I was like, I need to find out what happens. So, as Tom was saying, there are multiple endings, and it is very trial and error. It feels like you have to go through and die a lot of times
Yeah.
before you. But it's got a good atmosphere. It's got a good mood to it, and yeah, it doesn't do everything right. So you, as Tom was saying, the setup is you're a night watchman at an abandoned massive biotech firm building in the Midwest of America, and every night for the first 3 days you go to work, and it's 7 minutes shifts, and you get to look around. And
Yeah.
suddenly, because you're curious and you know obviously something's going wrong, you're looking through everyone's emails. That doesn't feel organic enough for the horror experience. Like horror doesn't come, people don't generally just run in and go, right, look for the clues to the bad guys, So eventually you start piecing it together too quickly, and then it feels like you're waiting for the game to give you the nod to. But it's got loads of nice like inventory management stuff. Like you pick up a fire extinguisher, and you're like, what am I going to do? And then you realise you can use the fire extinguisher to break down your neighbour's dorm room door,
right?
And it turns out they've been spying on you or whatever, and that leads into the next area. So there's cool stuff like that, and there's multiple different endings, and yeah, some of them are really fucking bleak. But I managed to get away in the end. But what I started to do was I couldn't be bothered because the first half of the game is quite slow. Just started copying the save file, the ini out of the out of there, and putting it in on my desktop. And then if I died or after I wanted to see a different ending, just slide it back in. But interesting. I also played Darkwood.
What the hell's Darkwood?
It is called Darkwood, isn't it? Darkwood, yeah.
Don't look at me.
Darkwood. Is it called Darkwood? Shit.
I looked at Dave because everyone else did.
Yeah, no.
Dave made
I kept on saying Deadwood.
Miles away.
Okay.
I kept on saying Deadwood. So Darkwood is a game.
Doctor Wood.
That it was Doctor Who. Darkwood is a game that was built just to piss off modern gamers. It looks like an Amiga game.
PC game,
from the
right?
90s, yeah.
Is this top-down one?
Top-down. It looks like something the Bitmap Brothers, bit Chaos Engine in its look. Not steampunky, but, the
Vision cones and all that, is it?
No.
Oh, no, it was just that you couldn't see around the corner.
Yeah, you have
it
a
like
flashlight.
Fog of War type thing?
And you have to... And,
Oh,
yeah.
man, that sounds nightmarish.
The setup is you're lost in a forest, a dark wood.
Nice.
And it's a bit like Minecraft in a way, in that in the day you've got to get supplies, forage for supplies. At night, you've got to barricade your
Everything
house.
is Minecraft.
But it works here because it makes the day stuff incredibly difficult, so it ramps the tension. So there's a map, but the map is hand-drawn, and it only updates when you go to another area of interest. So it doesn't show you even where you are. You have to work that out yourself.
Yeah.
The map's procedurally generated every time. It's got permadeath as well. Every time you start. So nothing's ever in the same place. And it's so difficult to work out how you get back, because it's top-down, so you can't go into first person and look around. But on the flip side, when you manage to find some wood so you can put it on the table saw and barricade up your house, or when you're running around in the wood for 5 minutes cursing the game, and then you realise, I've been in this clearing before, and finally the screen scrolls that little bit more and you find your house. Like, you're actually relieved to be back in your house, especially if it's just before nightfall. And the night stuff's pretty tense because all your light goes down, so all you can see is just like a halo effect almost around yourself, unless you've got a flare. And the amount of times you just get killed by like backing into a room where you've got the flare and something grabs you. So at first I really wanted to hate it because it's just it's not accommodating. But then after 3 or 4 deaths, you just think, okay, get this. It needs to have a better kind of quest line, because it just feels in the first few hours that you're just kind of sitting around trying to ride out the ride out thing. But you do also kill a dog within the first 20 seconds of the game, so it's just like, fuck you. It's pretty Soviet set.
Yeah,
interesting games, interesting PC games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. You also, I want to point out as well, in case people are wondering, you have just started playing Wolfenstein: The Old Order. That's right, isn't it?
Old Blood. The Old Blood.
Old Blood. Whatever that is called. That 6 out of 10 game.
6 out of 10 too.
6 out of 10 too. But you know, you literally, when you leave this room, I guess you're gonna sit down and start it properly.
Yeah, we're gonna play it now. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I know. I just want to tease because a lot of people are oddly asking me what I think of that game.
Well, I will say so far that, and I'm not saying that I didn't like it as much as you, Miller, but I did think, and people are going to go mad about this, I think, the best thing about Wolfenstein The New Order was BJ's delivery of his lines, because it's almost like, that famous Steven Seagal, I'll take you to the bank, Senator. To the blood bank. That's how he delivers every single line. It just makes me laugh. And it's in fitting with that kind of high camp, alternate history stuff. So it's got, and the new one, the Old Blood starts with him going, the war, I can't believe it. So I'm pissing myself off. I'm not even sure that's what they're going for.
That's what I put in my review. To the record, I don't want to take too long. I liked it. People see review scores in different ways.
Yeah.
Dave, what have you been playing, my friend?
Before we get on to that, I've just noticed, is Lucozade and Ribena the same company?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's blown my mind.
Why?
Well, when you have a cuddle and you nice.
What? You have a cuddle?
It's an evening and you're there.
I don't know where this analogy's going.
You say, do you want a warm beaner? And she's like, yeah.
What is a warm
I
beaner?
have a warm beaner. And you have a cuddle and a warm beaner.
Yeah.
What's that
Well,
got to do
now
with
it's
They
Lucasade.
can have a warm Zaid.
A warm
Warm
Kazade.
Luco.
Wait, which fucking idiot said this?
Him. He did.
Does this right
Sorry,
now.
I'm arranging more.
I never had a
garage
warm
stuff.
beaner in bed.
Basically, all companies.
Dave,
What the fuck is a warm beaner?
If you're drinking a sugary drink, it's probably made by Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
That's
they own
usually the way,
everything.
yeah.
Not this.
Good old Schweppes.
It's Lucasade, Ribena, Suntory.
Suntory time.
I don't know. They don't. I know it burns. I know. I think you would know this, Steve. But
also,
I don't. Usually, I do know this.
Yeah, you
this
have-
trivial nonsense.
you have good facts.
what I
Anyway.
love is that his analogy for that was simply so he could say warm beaner. That was the whole reason that story came up. Because he
No, it
said,
wasn't.
you're cuddling and you go to do you fancy a warm beaner?
We can have a warm Lucasade now.
You never offered a girl a warm beaner?
Never.
Let's get into that place.
Yeah, never offered a woman a warm beaner.
Offer her a warm beaner. Just do
It
it.
just sounds
What
horrible.
flavour? Blackcurrant or strawberry?
Blackcurrant.
Okay.
Strawberry's a bit too sweet.
It's actually true. I agree with that. You start off drinking a strawberry Ribena,
Why
and a few
is it-
sips in, it's too much.
Why is it he says something so stupid but you can't help but agree with the
Because
point?
he's a secret
You
genius.
people are just weird. You're weird people.
Anyway, I'm becoming a secret PC gamer.
You can't
There's
let your
nothing
PC
wrong with
shit.
that. Like
My PC is not great, but it's all right. For being 5 years
Tom-
old, it's not bad.
Tom told us you were going to upgrade it for Dirt Rally.
Well, not for Dirt Rally, because it runs
'Cause you can't run Dirt
it runs
Rally.
Dirt Rally just fine. But yeah, I'm going through my Steam list at the moment, and I'm thinking, all these games that I've never played.
Yeah.
I've got like 450 games, and I've played about 3 of them.
That's ridiculous.
Running Space Invaders on moderate.
No, but it made me think, like, because I always buy these remasters when they come out, and I've got them all in my Steam library. But
Yeah.
I've just never played them.
And they're all better there.
And
Sleeping
half of
Dogs.
the time, I think, God, I wish that had come out as a remaster. I've got it there in my
yeah.
Steam.
Oh,
Um,
hold up.
Why not?
Someone's already, even if there's not an official remaster, someone has already blatantly remastered it for you.
There you go.
Like
yeah.
System Shock 2. Someone was talking about this the other day
Yeah.
on Twitter. It's like, oh, yeah, someone's done this, that, the other.
No, but I mean,
How?
literally, like, porting the PC version to PS4 and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what
Tomb
we
Raider.
might have seen. Yeah, so we're playing a bit of Dirt Rally, which is what's got me into this PC. I'm not going to bang on about it because we've spoken enough about it before, but it's really good. And I'm
But
getting
Dave,
it-
is
It
there
grew
a-
on you a lot, didn't it?
Is there an upgrade game coming? You know,
What does that
they-
mean?
you
Proper
know-
game, you mean?
But you know, they used to be in the 90s or the early 2000s. It always felt like there was another game coming, especially once you started to get into that early boom
Oh,
with
what,
3D
for the
acceleration.
PC?
Yeah, and so I remember upgrading my PC for Far Cry and Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and all of that sort of thing.
I don't know. I can't think of
GTA
one.
was maybe one for people, I think.
I
GTA
definitely think it
5.
was for a few people. Yeah, I know a few people that waited for the PC version. So went through 2 iterations before playing GTA
But it
5.
scales so well. That's what I was surprised about GTA 5 on PC is that it scales so well that it's not necessarily one of those where it's such a leap that you feel you've got to go and drop another 100, 200 pounds to get more of X, Y, and Z to make it look how you want it to. Because it's got so many settings that if you don't really care about ambient occlusion but need bigger draw distance, you can just trade
can do
those
it,
two
yeah.
off.
I am
So-
tempted to just go, screw you. Here's my Titan X. 800
But-
quid.
But
Done.
Dave, the rest of your machine, it's like
Yeah.
buying a Ferrari engine, great.
Put it in a Vauxhall.
But you put it in a Skoda, yeah.
You could try it, though.
Ferrari
See
engine.
what happens.
Yeah, what would happen? I don't know.
I don't
The
know.
arse would fall out of it, I'd imagine.
Speaking of Ferrari and cars, I read an amazing story yesterday,
Yeah.
which about the creator of the Lamborghini, who was apparently after World War II, he worked making tractors, and he got rich out of this, and he bought a Ferrari, and it kept on breaking. So he went to Maranello and tried to speak to Enzo Ferrari himself, and say, what's going on here? Like, your cars keep breaking. Apparently Enzo Ferrari said, what do you know? You just make tractors. And apparently off went Lamborghini. He's like, well, fuck these guys then.
Gonna become
Apparently
your
just went
biggest
straight back to his
competition.
manufacturing plant and went, right, I'll make a car then.
Wow.
Just in the past, you just did that though, right? I'm off
It's
now.
like, that's the same with, I think it's Puma and Adidas.
The brothers.
The
right?
brothers, they fell out. They're both on Adidas, fell out and said, you'll never be able to do anything made Puma. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Always happens.
Just a quick word on Dirt Rally, though, very quickly.
No, that's fine. Talk about it.
Because we did that video, me and you, Brett, for the announcement, and I feel like even though we weren't negative about it, say, oh shit, my headphones are just falling off.
Dave's headphones literally
I
just
don't know
jumped
how
off
that
his head.
We weren't as positive about it as I am feeling about it now.
I hadn't played it at the
And
time.
No, you see, this is the thing. Because I went and played at Codemasters, and I probably got about an hour, 90 minutes, actual hands-on with it. And as much as I'd love to blame Codemasters for this, I think I have to accept responsibility and say I kind of goofed by getting into one of the most powerful cars at the very beginning and destroying it on the first turn.
So you fucked it again, did you?
So, well, obviously, when you're given a selection of cars, you're going to go, that car's nice, I'll try that one. When really I should have gone with the Mini, which when you get it home, that's really your only option, is the Mini. And
it's a live stream all over again. For anyone who watched the live stream where Dave had to play Dirt Rally he was so confident. He set up a race, a series of races, 18 races in all. He had 3 attempts at it. And what was the furthest you got in what stage?
Shut up, we're not talking about that.
Stage 10,
We're talking about this.
He had to log in on everyone's Steam account to try and get through to the end of it.
So my point is, I came away from that event, or that day, thinking, I don't know if this is for me, because it's so hard. Whereas really, if you follow the proper progression and get to learn it in the career, I think it actually is, accessible, or more accessible than I thought it would be, and perhaps more appealing to more people than I initially thought it might be. And I think it looks a bit nicer than I remember it looking as well. Even
looks
though
alright.
I thought it looked nice on that video.
Even though it is the old engine, maybe that was what it was. I came away thinking, I hope it's a new massive dirt game that looks amazing. And it wasn't that. So maybe there was like a hint of disappointment because of that. But overall, no, I think it's really good. I think it's one of the best things Codemasters has ever done, to be honest. I think it's really good.
It's brutally punishing, though, as well. There's so many... Because it's a series of stages, there'll be times when you'll get through the first 3 sectors, you're on the final one, you think, I've got a good time on my way here.
And you wreck it on the last turn.
Absolutely wreck the car, and you're like, oh my God.
And then when you've wrecked it, you're screwed for the next race as well.
The problem is sometimes I don't get the option to repair my car between stages, and I don't know why that is.
It's every other race, isn't it?
Oh, is it every other? Oh, I see. Oh, that's brutal as well.
It's like proper rally, I think.
Yeah, because there's times when I'll just have nothing on my car. It'll be on the brink.
Because it's really satisfying when you learn how to handle the car.
I still haven't got hairpins. Can you do a hairpin yet?
I'm getting better at them, but still not, got it entirely. Yeah. But is it similar to Project Cars in that regard?
In the feeling that the player has when they pull off?
Yeah, like you feel you actually feel in control of the car when you're playing Dirt Rally. You actually feel like everything you do, you know how it's going to react. You know when you've cocked up. From about 5 seconds away sometimes. You can see the turn coming. You're like, oh, shit. Should have braked.
Definitely, because there are...
Fair enough, though.
Should have careering into a tree.
We saw the iceberg and just thought, well, should have gone round there.
But does Project Cars have that? Because if it does, I'll be more interested in it.
I think you're going to like Project Cars. Based on nothing, I've got this inkling that you're going to like it.
Because you're a flopper, Dave. That's what you are.
Yeah, massively.
Should we be worried about Star Wars? There's nothing to worry about Star Wars.
Why
we're worried about Star Wars?
I think I've had that feeling a lot more when I've been doing the qualifying or driving on my own. Doing drugs.
So you get that feeling more in Dirt Rally, that's what you're saying?
No, I was about Project Cars. And
The satisfaction is greater in Project Cars than it is in Dirt Rally?
No. I'm talking about in Project Cars, I get that feeling more when I'm doing the qualifying stuff, not when I'm driving against stuff.
See, I don't think I could give a shit about qualifying stuff. This is why I didn't like F1, because it did all that.
But F1 has qualifying.
You
bought an F1 game thinking, what about that qualifying?
I don't care. I just want to go in a proper race.
You can turn it off,
You can skip qualifying.
Remember F1 on PS1? I used to damage the car so much that the nose came off because it was easier to control. I deliberately slapped...
Think of that. What? A real F1 driver.
Can you imagine?
The nose.
It's like...
I deliberately slam it into the first turn. So what do you call it? The bit at the front.
The nose.
But it's not the nose, it's not the cone bit, it's the bit,
the
like
wings.
the wing bit
Yeah.
on the front.
Yeah.
The flaps.
Yeah, I'd get it so they came off.
That's what they're called. Laughing at me, Brett.
So I'd go around corners a lot easier, it would. It turned easier.
But you don't
So that was it, that was my strategy. Off on the first turn,
but
win the race.
You've got no downforce then.
Sim.
Yeah, Sim.
Come on.
PS1 game.
PS1 didn't simulate downforce.
That's true, it didn't.
Just had Murray Walker, it's the best thing ever.
So what was good. Can you pick one? Are they really the same game?
No, you can't. No. Rally, but I really, really enjoy Dirt Rally. It's because I've never played rally games before. Because as a kid, they were just ridiculously hard. Whereas now I'm at a point where I can play them and enjoy them. But they're honestly, like Dave says, there's times where you'll be driving straight and all you're doing, you think right because you can see the tracks on the road, and if you're not quite on them, and the problem is, as soon as you get up to like near full speed, you think right, well, I just need to tweak it a little bit so I can line my tyres up with the track so I don't wear them out as quick. And you just tweak the analog stick just a tiny bit. And you know that thing where your car starts to slalom?
Yeah.
and you think, right, I need to take my foot off the accelerator or get off the trigger here, otherwise it's going to go into that tree over there, and you refuse to because you think I'm going to lose time, and then you either got a choice for hitting the brake and losing time, or smashing your car in that nearby set of trees, and it's really good.
Okay, we're back.
Hi, everyone.
We had a small error, and the podcast tried to delete itself, but James Orry,
have you backed up the
magician,
backup?
Yeah.
Of course you have.
James Orry, the magician, has saved us. So, Dave, do you want to finish your story? We can just move on to questions if you
Talking
want.
about how I hated Dirt Rally. Basically, I did a 24-stage event, cocked up the last stage, so I've done 23, and it rounded up my last one to 30 minutes, because that's what it does if you fail it on a longer track.
Really?
So I rounded out to say,
Screwed.
listen, and I thought, final time, 163 minutes, or something like that, right? Nearly 3 hours. I thought, right, well, that's my final time. I've entered it into the monthly event. Anyway, turns out that's not how it works. If you fail a stage, that's it. Your time's not registered. I'm sitting there thinking, I'll get something for my 3 hours of work. Nothing.
Yeah,
Devastated.
That would wind me up.
Devastated.
Okay, I was going to talk about WWF No Mercy because I actually played that this weekend.
Did you really?
That crash has ruined my life, so we're not going to do it. Yeah, I played WWF.
Really, you need to calm down a bit.
I played WWF No Mercy on Nintendo 64 emulator, and it reminded me of how good wrestling games were and how terrible they are now.
They're actually N64 emulators.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Daedalus Low? Which one did you play
I
on?
thought they were really bad.
Project 64? Daedalus? Nah, no one plays
I
Daedalus.
think it's Project 64. That rings a bell. I think so. Yeah, it was good. It was solid. It just
Controls are fucking wank though.
Yeah, because we had a Nexus controller, and it was just his start button was like left trigger.
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out
Well,
was
the C
was
buttons,
insane.
mapping an N64 pad is
They're
so
on the stick.
difficult.
They're on the right stick, and that was just. Oh man! But other than that, once you got used to it, I was wrong. You know, I used to say WrestleMania 2000 was better. It wasn't.
No
Mercy is genuinely.
Ian Dransfield was right.
Yep. Even today, No Mercy is an incredible wrestling game. But like I say, that crash has ruined me. So that's all I'm going to say about it. If you do head over to the Video Gamer forums, you'll be able to enter this month's competition, which is nice and simple. You just got to do something with Kojima. He is probably going to leave Konami soon. What's he going to do next? Draw a picture, make a film. What else could you possibly do?
Make Dead Space 4, Miller.
Yeah, maybe you want to draw a picture of Kojima making Dead Space 4, or what he would do for Dead Space 4. The game
He would be the best thing to happen to that series.
The only thing that happened to that series at the moment that is dead.
Blimey.
Dead Space.
Tell me more.
Exactly. So yeah, log on to the Video Gamer forums and be creative. Make us laugh, and you'll usually win a game. Well, no, you will win a game, but you'll usually win if you make us laugh. From shop2.net up to the value of £50. Who wants to answer some questions?
Me.
Right, Dave, this one is for you. And I only put it in here because I don't really know what it means. It's from Andrew Fairbairn.
Right.
And he says, if the Dirt games were BioWare RPGs, what car would Dave be and what party members would he take with him?
I'd be a sexy little car that had a stunning exhaust.
Dave would be Herbie.
That's what I see. Fuck's sake. Every week.
Rev my engines. That's all you have to do.
So what would your party members be? I guess you had to choose other cars. So who would you have, like an Aston Martin with you?
Or
something?
is he
I
talking
don't
about
know.
like his engineer and stuff like
I
that
have
to
no
repair
idea.
his car?
I don't understand the question.
They'd have to wrench me to level me up. They'd have to like proper
Grind. Life. Every week.
grind the wrench, and that would make.
You can
It's a
tell
weird
why.
question, isn't it? It's really weird. Really weird.
I'm not
Imagine
quite
Dave
sure
at a
what to
mechanic.
say, but I've made it quite
It's
sexual.
inventive though. I like it.
Yeah, no, I like it too. That's why I include it. MK Knight asks, what game is most undeserving of its fan base, i.e. shittest game / most fans? Nothing controversial here.
Kane Lynch 2.
Dark Souls. Dark Souls fans are really mean and horrible. You're not allowed to not like their game without them getting really upset. When in reality, we should all live in peace and harmony.
The
Final
Witcher.
Fantasy.
Oh, there were a lot of games there. Who said The Witcher?
I said The Witcher.
Why, go on.
I think it gets away with a lot of stuff that other games wouldn't get away with.
I think I agree with you.
But then you'd have
So you got, who said Final Fantasy?
Me.
Go on.
Everyone likes Final Fantasy's wank.
Right.
Well, FIFA.
You go die.
FIFA, because all FIFA is now is full kit wankers, the game. That's all it is. Literally, all that game is like, it's nowhere near being the best football game. It's just Sky Sports, the interactive experience. That's pretty much all it is.
It really is. They make a lot of money off of it, though, so I think they're quite happy.
Yeah, so do Colombian drug dealers, Miller.
We're not going to answer this question. I included it because it made me laugh. Zach Toms asked who was the Curtis Axel of the video games industry. Moving on. Ghostwriter, what would Microsoft need to show at E3? So we can talk about E3 now, Dave. As you said,
E3? I
for
wanna
you
talk
to
about
start
E3.
taking the Xbox One seriously as a games machine.
Wow.
I just want to
The
stress
Xbox 2.
that we do take the Xbox One serious as a games machine.
I don't.
I do.
I don't
It's
take
just a
it
fucking.
seriously.
You know what? I don't take either of them them seriously.
I
It's
bought-
an
They're games.
It's an electronic box under my TV.
I'd say I bought 2 on launch day. Thank you very much.
What did you do with the other one?
You bought 2.
I bought one for me and I bought one for my lovely lady.
Oh, what a hero he is.
You're an
Bought
idiot.
more Xbox Ones. They did PS4s, so thank you very much. And that's why I have.
bought more. More.
That's why I have every right to say that I think it's a bit shite.
But it is a bit shy, isn't it? That's the thing.
It's
People are going to
just-
get mad now.
Well, no, look, it's okay, but that's not good enough. It's not as good as PS4.
Where are the games? That's the big question. Where are the good Microsoft Xbox One
and
games?
even the games that are there, like Forza Horizon 2, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Better than Drive Club.
I think I disagree there now. I'm not sure. I think Drive Club it's definitely, I've said this before, it's definitely the driving game of the two that I've gone back to more. I don't know. And Microsoft keeps saying we have the best exclusives. I think that is not a fact.
No, it's not. I don't
Not
agree at
anymore.
all.
Like, I think Bloodborne, The Last of Us, all that. And I know The Last of Us are remaster, but I don't know. How long can you continue saying it?
What do you think they need to do at E3? Ignore the seriously quote. What do they need to do at E3 to sort of get back in the fight, or whatever you want to call it? You know, I don't know.
Well, a price cut obviously hasn't done it.
Yeah.
Price cut you'd have thought would have spurred it on a lot. I'm not doubting that it has spurred sales on, but
'Cause, what have Sony just announced? 2 million.
2 million UK for
Yeah.
PS4, which I think takes it up to 23 million worldwide,
It's
or something like that. Something
It's
around
mass. What's Xbox on? Do we know?
there. In
7.
November, we're nearly shipping 10 million, and they haven't
Wow.
updated it since then.
Shit the
So,
bed.
whereas PS4 is actually sold through. So
Yeah, in houses.
Shit, Dave.
Microsoft needs to buy a big third-party exclusive. That's what they need.
Tomb Raider. I did that with
tried it
Tomb
before,
Raider.
innit?
Yeah, but they need another one because clearly they haven't. The
what?
first-party stuff, like there was talk about Resident Evil being that game, and I don't know if that's going to happen. But if that did,
No.
it'd make a lot of people angry,
It
but it'd
doesn't
also
need
be
that.
enough.
It does.
I don't think Resident Evil's got the name power
It just
anymore.
pisses people off. They just need a really strong first-party lineup. That's all they need.
But they're already
Then-
talking about that with like Halo and the like and Forza. That's what they're trying to push now.
I honestly think that they will cut this gen short, and I think they will launch a new machine that is slightly more powerful. And
When though? Because they've got the new
it will-
Nintendo coming next year.
I think it was. I don't think it matters. I don't think it'll be a revision. Just like there'll be a slim Xbox, presumably. I think they'll maybe add in a little bit more power into it, maybe a better chipset or whatever, better graphics card. Still completely functional with existing Xbox One games, but you know, I don't know. It's weird because it's something like that's never been done before. But I would not be surprised to see them do it because they can't.
What they need, Dave, is an add-on that slots into the
I knew you
into
were
the
going to say
top
this straight away.
or underneath it. What it needs is a CD add-on that goes
Nah, they
underneath
can't do
it
an
like a
add-on.
mega
CD
Mega
as well.
CD.
CD add-on.
All it does, or a 32X, Dave. It's a fucking joke. Like for all the chat about the games and all the hype, this is a machine that we have on good authority from someone who worked with the beta kits and all of that. That it wasn't meant to launch when it did. That it should have launched 6 months after. That none of the
I
features
don't think we ever reported on that, but
that
Probably on it right now.
we did. It's in there. That
I don't know if it is. But
that all of the background. Well, it doesn't matter. It's true.
Right.
I've got it on tape. All of the.
That's that CD.
Yeah, I've got it on my CD burner. Couldn't do backgrounds. What are you talking about? It didn't have any. Like, it didn't have
PS4 didn't either. Did
yeah,
it,
but it
really?
didn't
I mean,
have a lot of the functionality. Yeah, but PS4 looked nice. Xbox One just looked like it had a void behind it.
It looked like a dev tool.
Yeah, it
Still
did.
does a little bit, actually.
And it had Connect, and everything they've done has been a misstep. And the games don't run as well. You know?
That's the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem Xbox faces is that third-party stuff it runs
That's the
better on
problem.
PS4. Like
Yeah.
multi-platform stuff runs
Well, it
better
was
on
the
PS4.
same in last gen. That's why PS3 fell behind and Xbox 360
Yeah, but it wasn't
leapt
so.
in it.
You never had a situation where a game ran at 60 on one console and 30 on the other. You never had those huge divides like that. You might have had Call of Duty ran at 100 pixels less on PS3 than 360 or something like that, but you never had such huge performance stuff like that.
Yeah. For the record as well, I will get an Xbox One when the games come out that I want to play, like Gears of War, etc. But that's still not enough. They need more than just Gears at this point. They need...
But the thing is, though, is the calendar's going to be like. I think Dave's right that they will call this generation short on their terms, but it'll be so weird because you've got the new Nintendo console being announced or talked about next year with the plan of either it'll probably be end of next year or maybe early the year after that. So what will be considered as the cycle now? Because, console cycle tends to be kind of blocked. They tend to follow a pattern, whereas now it'll be like, if they do their short, why would Sony do it? They don't really have to at the minute.
I get the impression with Microsoft, and I could be totally wrong, but Xbox 360 went on for 10 years or 8 years or whatever because it was so popular and it held its price point. Like, you look at the prices now.
Yeah.
Xbox One is like 50 quid more than Xbox 360,
That's
which is
madness.
Yeah.
ludicrous.
That is mad.
There is no way that Microsoft are happy selling it at that price. They can't raise the price above where it is now.
No, it's
it
too
can only
late.
continue to go further down.
Value-added bundles, that's all they can do.
Them being behind Sony by the margin that they are, I think it must have knocked them for six so hard. Like, you can tell, really, the way that they communicate and the way that they feel like they're on the back foot. And
They're a lot less verbal than they used to be. They're very
Yeah.
quiet all the time.
And I just get this impression that they can't last like that. I can't see this going on for another 5 years because it's going to destroy them and they're going to end up without a console business.
Brilliantly, their machine needed something different, which would have been that family sharing stuff.
Oh,
If
yeah.
that was,
the original
The
Xbox,
Steambox type
the
thing.
one that I said at the time they should. It would have been
Totally
the best.
agree.
Would have
Totally
been
agree.
The best.
The original
if it-
plans, they should have stuck with
that's a
it.
differentiator. Like, if everyone's telling you you're wrong, in a lot of ways, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you're wrong, you can't do this. Well, now I'm going to do
The
it.
problem is everyone told them they were wrong, they were changed it, and people still believe they were wrong.
Yeah.
So it hasn't benefited them.
Was it March 2013 they announced it, or 14? I can't remember when
May
it came out
13.
now.
May
May
13.
2013.
So
I would
2
like
years ago.
everyone to go on VideoGamer.com and find the article where we wrote saying, Mike, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. Do something different. Be the pioneers. They didn't. They became the everyman console, for lack of a better term, and now look what's happened to you. It's a shame. And before anyone says anything, this isn't us picking Sony over Microsoft. They can both kiss my ass, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Or I
PC
can-
gaming for the win, bros.
Or,
Go home, casuals.
or they can both come and give me a kiss on the cheek. I don't care. They're companies. It's not the point. The point is, right now, PS4 is more successful than Xbox One. That's a fact. Can't argue with fact. Can't get mad about facts. If you do, you got a problem.
I think for me, it's because I love 360 so much. Like, it was my go-to console.
It was amazing.
And it was such a I was there. I was one of those guys going, I remember having this conversation. The next Xbox is going to be incredible. I can't wait for the new generation. And it came along, and it was just, I don't know, it was such a disappointment,
People
really.
would laugh.
Sage's
Like,
well mad. You're already slapping his knees. He's well angry.
But look, both consoles are underpowered.
You know, I blame all this on that. What was that cycle? Loco cycle. I blame it all on
Machine.
Loco cycle, yeah.
I remember how mad you got when you played. You looked at it, like, what is this?
That's the worst game
Doesn't
I've
make
ever played
sense.
in my life. Well, there you go. Does
I
anyone
don't
else
know.
have
I hope it comes, but honestly, because there are people that give me shit for this. Oh, you're anti-Xbox.
I see them. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I hope Microsoft can turn it around, and I hope Xbox can do a really good job of this generation.
Because
Nah, it's-
competition breeds creativity.
It's all about Wii U too
Oh,
now.
that, and because I want to see some really good Xbox One games, and I want to have a good Xbox One experience. It's
Anyone
just that
else?
up till now.
Microsoft at E3. Any out there proposals, suggestions?
Well, surely they have to show something of what they've already announced. They have to have Crackdown and
What was what's that dragon
Crackdown,
game?
yeah.
What's that dragon
Scalebound.
game? Scalebound. And the other one that Lob's working on?
Lob.
Ken Lobb.
They'll have something
Oh,
from
okay.
Rare, won't they? Presumably.
No, there was that card that people were mad about that card
Oh,
game.
they won't
or
have
whatever
that.
it's
That's
called.
ages away.
Is that ages away?
Yeah.
Just
I don't
mean,
even
they're doing
remember
at Ubisoft though, where they announce a game, you don't hear from it. For
They need
ages.
games. They really, really need games. Ross Kennedy asks, best Star Wars game? KOTOR.
Rogue Squadron.
I think there's two different ones. But I think Burn's got an answer, but look on his face.
one of those Jedi Knight games. I think the rest of them are shit.
Burns? Dave?
Well, I think technically it has to be KOTOR, doesn't it? But
Yeah,
I think
I
at the time.
Oh, KOTOR makes me mad. Makes me so. Yeah, that's
KOTOR's
right.
amazing.
The end of the career.
You made me
now.
open my eyes.
KOTOR.
Your eyes shut the whole time.
Honestly, I tried to play it when it came out, and it just bored.
It's
the
fantastic.
piss out of
It's
me.
so good.
I think it was the combat. That weird kind
I
of
like it.
and it's like, oh yeah,
Isn't it
Look,
MMO combat?
This is what I like about Star Wars, right? I like the original. I don't want to be that guy. I like the original trilogy because it's about laser swords and it's a western, but it's in space.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a cool bad guy. I don't give a fuck about any of your extended universe or your Darth Revan or your fucking. Oh no, actually,
Revan, Darth
sorry,
Malik.
I can't use a lightsaber in this game because at Star Wars Galaxies I've got to be a fucking cantina worker or some shit. Like in Star Wars game, I want a lightsaber. I want to hack the fuck out of people. And then I want to go home. I want the theme team to play. Go burns.
Remember that Star
burns.
Wars fighting
Like,
game?
Terrace Cassie?
Yeah.
Shiter.
Oh, God.
But at the same time, Jedi Knight, those Jedi Knight games, lovely. Rest of it, nah.
That was the problem with The Force Unleashed, or The Force Unleashed 2. Which one started with you as Darth Vader?
the
First one, right? The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
Had the best opening ever went, you're not Darth Vader anymore. Why wasn't it a Darth Vader game?
Which is the
Ridiculous.
one where you Is it the second one where it's finally like, oh yeah, but don't worry, you're a massive light. You know, you've got all these powers, but now there are enemies and they can block your light. So like, no, absolutely not. Stop this.
One day, developers will realise that just having ultimate power in the game is fine. It could be quite fun.
I just want. Why hasn't Rogue Squadron been put on some sort of version? It's so good. Rogue Leader, that space, amazing. Fuck you, Burns.
Slim Dolphin Mech. An interesting name.
Secret Dolphin
Mech says, do you agree that Splatoon will sink like a dead squid to the seabed because of its lack of voice chat and the fact it's only on Wii U? I mean, that is an interesting... I think Splatoon's going to fail because I just think it's a very good game. And I know there's a lot of hype
People
around.
are loving it, though.
People are so excited. I played it... I mean, granted, E3 was a long time ago last year, but I can only go on what I've experienced. And when I played that, it was just... I played it for 10 minutes, I was done. I was so bored. I was like, this is just the most Nintendo first-person shooter ever. Just like, you know, we're going to come up with one gimmick and we're going to push it to the moon. And I wasn't impressed at all.
I'll tell you a problem. I had a Nintendo fan talking to me the other day and they said, you know what, I really wish Nintendo would make a new IP. I said, well, yeah, they're making Splatoon.
Yeah,
They were like, oh, yeah. The fact that they'd completely forgotten about it.
There you go,
Can't be that big a
It's
Nintendo
out
fan.
soon, right? Is that in May?
Yeah.
It's May now. Is that this month?
It's an online shooter on a platform where online shooters do not perform.
Online doesn't perform.
I don't know. Like, I quite like the idea behind it, but it's the sort of thing that I'd maybe be interested in as if it was a £10, £15 downloadable rather than a...
I think you're right. I think if you go into it with the expectation that you're getting a £50 fully fledged experience, it doesn't feel like that. It feels very much like a thing you download and muck around with.
I'm only going on what I've seen and what people have
That's
done.
the game where we
right.
use that Nintendo Land Mario Run game. That's the best game on Wii U.
Oh, I remember at Christmas party.
By a mile.
Burns lost his shit when he realised what that game was. He was completely blown away by
So
it.
good. That's the best
So
game
high-
on Wii U.
I don't know what it is.
The hide and seek game where you've
Nintendo
got
Land,
you've got the
Mario.
guy on the gamepad
I think I played it,
in
yeah.
Nintendo
That
Land.
and Zombie U.
It's like tag.
Oh, okay.
You know, where they can see the whole
Oh,
map.
best.
Three guys got to run away.
Mario Maker would be the best game on Wii U.
Yeah, Mario Maker. I
Mario
can't wait for
Maker's
that.
really good. It's really good. Oh no, Toad's Dance House, whatever it's called, is the greatest game on
What?
Wii U. What's
Are
it
you
called?
making up games?
Is that on Living TV?
The Toad puzzle game. What the hell's it called?
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, that one. Toad's Dance Adventure.
Splatoon will have a very dedicated fan base that love it, but it'll be like going back to a PC shooter that's about 10 years old, and there's only those same guys there
Yeah.
that are still playing it on that same server.
The guys
And
who
you're
never
like,
turned
oh,
off
this is still
Halo.
alive, right?
Yeah.
But that'll be Splatoon from like
Talking about how nobody else
month
understands.
two.
Alex says, will there ever be a good video game?
Nope.
There you
Blimey.
go.
It does seem a bit quiet at the moment, although I say that as Witcher and Product Cars out now.
It's a big month. Oh, this is huge. The Witcher is... I mean, the anticipation for that game is... I can't quite believe it. I don't know where it's come from, because the original Witcher and the Witcher 2, as far as I know, aside from the PC community, weren't... Maybe it's just because it's on Xbox One and PS4,
I think
but
the
there are
original
people
Witcher was quite
desperate
obscure
for
at
it.
the time, wasn't it?
I thought the second one was really...
No, I think Witcher 2, I think, because it looks so good, it
Maybe.
attracts
But
people.
not as... I mean, The Witcher 3, if it doesn't come out to 9s and 10s, I mean, there will be rioting in the street. People are desperate. I mean, I've never seen such love for a game I didn't really think had that much of a following to begin with.
And the game I'm most excited about, no one's talking about anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That Puzzling Dragons Super Mario game. Another match-free puzzler from 3DS.
Man, look at you.
Exactly.
You're that guy, Brett.
It's a train game. Perfect.
That guy.
Exactly.
Owen Hughes says, what would teams' fatalities be? So right now, you just get really mad and you can do whatever you want to a human being. What would you do?
I reckon you would, you know, like the crushers, what you go at scrap, like scrap metal. I reckon you'd do that. and
Yeah,
you
that's quite good.
put someone into a tiny square of just flesh and bone. That'd be you. Dave would probably reduce your frame rate to fuck all and then disappear.
Now I'd Goatsy.
Oh, Dave,
What's
not
it-
that again.
What's Goatsy?
You
I
don't
know
want to
what that is.
know.
No, I
Do
now.
not answer the question.
Don't you dare.
Do you want to know what Goatsy
Don't-
is?
don't.
I think it's more like, are you happy to say what Goatsy is?
Goatsy is the
He'd ask for it to be
it's one of the
taken
oldest
out.
memes there are, Miller. How do you not know
I'm
Goatsy?
not a very big meme. I'm not a meme guy.
No.
What's Go? Just tell me.
It's
What's
a good thing that you're
Goatsy?
not.
It's,
You won't believe this, Miller, even while it's happening.
so look, I'll do an action, Miller.
Okay.
That's not going to explain it.
No, I know what he means. Yeah, look up Goatsy. We're not talking about that.
Well, no, don't,
That's what you do
don't-
for a fatality. Fucking hell, Mortal Kombat would be 25 rated.
It'd be Reddit rated.
Jeez. Oh, man. Yeah, we go asking now. Oh, well. Dan Murphy, what would your superhero names be and what would your team be called? Man, it's like...
I hate
I'd just be
superhero
called
questions.
Steve. I'd be like, you know, superheroes are all a bunch of fucking posers. So
Surely-
I'm there, right? But at the same time, they're all hide behind these masks and bollocks. I'd just be walking around like, yeah, just shoot me because I live a life of pain anyway. So I'd
Depressing
Jesus.
superhero.
I'd just be called Steve the Cunt Burns.
I love that. I'm picturing the cunt being in quotes as well. You know, like how in the middle of the
quotation
arc.
marks.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be a team if we were all superheroes. We'd just all fight about frame rates and stuff.
No, you see it every week in VG versus. That
Yeah,
is
exactly.
basically
That's
it.
the team. And Manus Noble asks, is Piss Morning dead? Well, it is in the guise that it originally was, simply because it was too much work for two people. But all the bits are being spun
Just
up into their own series. So.
Imagine it like those first two piss mornings. The piss mornings you encountered were like, you know, when an amazing new television show starts as like a 2-hour special, but then it gets smaller,
Oh,
but with
nice.
the things that you liked. And trust me, some of the shit that's coming out under the guise of Piss Morning Presents the Miller Report is so amazing, you're going to shit blood.
Well,
Whoa.
Oh, is that Gertzy again?
Is that a good thing?
Yeah,
if you're that excited, you shit some blood, yeah.
exactly.
There's a lot of pumpage going on.
What would Vincent McMahon say?
Me.
This podcast, before anyone says anything, has been a little shorter than usual. That's because we had a technical error drawing it, so we had to, run around and sort
Drawing
stuff
it?
out. So I make up words on the podcast. I do it all the time. No one ever notices. So before you get upset, just sometimes things happen.
How long is it, Miller?
It's just over an hour. Some people,
that's
it was going to go
reasonable.
longer. I was going to talk about No Mercy, but we would spend like half an hour where I was faffing
We'll
around.
have to stitch
trying
it together, and that's going to take time.
Well, that is going to take a long time. It's
might have
already
to-
like 3 o'clock, so it's already against us. Later than
I've
that.
got to go play
It's
Wolfenstein.
3:30. It's 3:30.
Can
The
we have
day
an
has got away.
E3? Can we have an E3 prediction special? At
Oh,
one
that's going to
stage?
happen. Yeah, that'll happen the week
I'd
before
like
you
to
guys-
Oh, the
predict-
week before.
Oh, yeah.
Have we said what we're doing yet?
You're going to leave your GoPro on,
Well, I mean,
Dave.
for E3, Dave and Burns are going this year for
Hey.
us, and they're going to wear GoPros, so you can get first-person E3 coverage.
Oh, really?
It's a first-person conference experience. Oh, my life. Oh, my.
We're gonna
We'll show
title-
you everything. We'll show you the parties. We'll show you the interview. We're going to wear it to the interviews.
Are we really?
Nah, I'm just
Going to wear it when
now.
Burns
I've
goes
gone
and gets
full
Dave from
Ubisoft.
jail.
I'm going to go to the toilet.
Oh, Dave, just, yeah.
I look
E3
forward to getting that. Here's the footage, Miller. Oh, lovely.
Remember when you bumped into Phil Spencer?
And he never said sorry.
Imagine that on camera.
That's really,
That's true, actually. I could have feel like such a good point.
what, hidden though? Just like in your shirt.
Are you
so
allowed to
it's on
take
the
cameras
shirt.
into toilets?
I'm not.
No.
You'd probably get locked up.
I think
for
it's
that.
frowned upon.
What a question.
Not illegal, just frowned upon.
Exactly.
But remember, you can go to the Video Gamer forums to check out the competition. Also, as I said at the start of the podcast, VideoGamer.com on Twitter, Facebook, and VideoGamerTV on YouTube. Who wants to pimp anything? No, nothing.
No.
All right, well, with that said, thank you very much for listening to the Video Gamer podcast. We'll be back in a week, but also thanks to Stephen W. Burns,
yeah.
Brett Phipps,
Bye.
David Scammell.
Oh?